What's going on, guys? Jada Black here. Shout out to everybody tuning in. I want to talk about Brittany Renner. I was initially going to make a video about her new relationship, but I just didn't feel the need to talk about it because there's not much there. I don't think that is going to last very long. I think that she just wanted to spend the latter part of the year with somebody because, you know, these chicks get heavily depressed if they're single during the holidays. That's what I think that was, but we're going to go with the narrative that she has a new boyfriend. Well, according to a article by US Magazine, PJ Washington is accusing her of threatening to serve him with papers during an NBA game. You want to know why? It's because he's fighting her petition to move the proceedings to California. Because, you know, women know that in California, women have an advantage, which is why any man with money and resources should never marry a woman in California. Don't even procreate with a woman in California. You know why? Because they're going to try, if you break up with them, they're going to seek to divorce you in California or try to get a bigger child support check from you in California, and that's what she's doing, which is very interesting because Brittany Renner said it herself a couple of years ago that she takes care of her child. When there was rumors that he was paying her exorbitant amounts of money, she said that she takes care of her child. How do you go from that to you now begging the courts to give you an increase because he got a contract extension? Money that is not yours, by the way. I made a video also on the verbal altercation argument that happened in the driveway while PJ was picking up his son. Her and her ghetto mother decided to argue with him and even tried to fight his girlfriend, tried to get her to come out of the car and fight them. This is that same one. You know, I believe she takes medication. I think Brittany takes medication. She's on her meds. Some days she's not on her meds. She has to because she'll act like she's humble. She'll act like, you know, she's trying to better herself. And then she'll act the way she acted in that driveway. She'll go on these ridiculous car rants. Now I guess she has a podcast or she's making content. Who knows? So let's get into this article. Dallas Mavericks PJ Washington accused ex Brittany Renner of threatening to serve him during the game. So she's trying to extort him by saying, listen, if you don't give in to my demands, I'm going to have you served during the game. I'm going to embarrass you. That's what she's saying. She's saying that she's willing to embarrass him during an NBA game because this heifer is broke and she's greedy. And because, you know, she has not been able to replace him. Maybe she thought by now she'd come across another NBA player. Or they don't want you. And if they deal with you, they deal with you in secret. They don't want to be your boyfriend. They don't want to wife you up. They don't want to have a family with you. And you're seething at the fact that not only did PJ Washington move on with another woman, he married her and had children with her. Dallas Mavericks forward PJ Washington accused his ex-girlfriend Brittany Renner of threatening to have him served court papers during an NBA game. Us Weekly can exclusively report. Us obtained court docs filed by Washington's legal team in North Carolina. The NBA star asked the judge to shut down Renner's efforts to move their custody case to California, which makes absolutely no sense. He doesn't live in California. I don't think he's ever lived in California. I believe his residence is still North Carolina, even though he plays for the Dallas Mavericks. And that's where the child was conceived. The child was conceived in North Carolina. And he had lived there again up until him going to the Dallas Mavericks. So I don't understand what California has to do with this. You see how these heifers are strategically doing these things, and y'all wonder why I'm against marriage? Y'all wonder why? Y'all wonder why? Because she'll try to talk you into moving to California only for her to divorce you and take half your money. Listen, if you're with a woman, you're married to her, or let's say you're trying to have kids with her and she's trying to get you to go to California, it's because she's trying to finesse you. Renner filed a new case in September 2025 in Los Angeles. Washington moved to dismiss the case. A judge has yet to rule. That should be dismissed. That just makes no sense. He has no connection to California. Washington said California does not have personal jurisdiction over him. He argued that he has no ties to the state, which is true. He asked the North Carolina judge to deny Renner's motion. Brittany Renner is such a devious heifer. You know damn well this man does not live in California. He's never lived in California. How are you going to then try to get the case moved to California? This is what Anthony Edwards' baby mama is trying to do. She's trying to get the case moved to California. Anthony Edwards has no ties to California. Anthony Edwards has no ties to California. But his baby mother is trying to get it moved there. Do y'all see how these heifers operate? And y'all wonder why I tell men with money and resources, not only should you not marry a woman, but don't marry her in California. Don't, you know what I'm saying? Don't even move to California while you're with her, unless you're actually from that state, because these women are strategically choosing these locations just so they can divorce you. And then knowing that that state is so lenient towards women, and they allow these women to just destroy men financially. And she knows this. This is bum behavior. This is bum behavior. I thought you claimed you were taking care of your kid back in 2022. What happened? This is why feminism failed. Feminism failed because lazy heifers decided they needed a man all of a sudden. Even though you're taking a trip with this guy who you're trying to claim is your new boyfriend, I think he was just a guy that you wanted to link up with for the New Year's or right around New Year's, because you don't have nobody else. And men should look at what she's doing to PJ Washington, a guy who she's 6 years older than, by the way. She started dating him while he was in college, and you can't convince me otherwise. She was going to his games at Kentucky when he was at Kentucky. And she's doing this to a man who's 6 years younger than her. She knew better. So she don't get no sympathy from me. Washington's lawyer says that Renner's lawyer threatened to have Washington personally served on national television during his National Basketball Association game if he does not succumb to Renner's lawyer's demands. Renner's antics and fear tactics are familiar to this court, given how this matter began, and are still inappropriate and should not be rewarded by this court, because that's who she is. She tries to portray herself as if she's a good person, and everybody's just picking on her, and everybody's just attacking her. This heifer's crazy. In an alleged email from Renner's lawyer to Washington's attorney, dated November 14th of 2025, Renner's lawyer explained he planned to serve the NBA star. He noted that the Mavericks were set to play the Los Angeles Lakers on November 28th, 2025. There are currently 8 tickets in section 102 immediately behind the visitor bench where Mr. Washington will be seated. Renner's lawyer said, I plan on purchasing all 8 tickets, which are going for an average price of $2,300 per ticket, to ensure that there are no problems with my process server being able to effectuate service. Do y'all see this? This quote unquote lawyer claims that they were going to buy 8 tickets worth about $2,300 each. $2,300 each. Which is what, about $18,500 for all those tickets. That's about what she's asking for in child support, right? Or more. Probably, I think she's asking for maybe more than that. I think she's asking for more than that. So this quote unquote lawyer claims that he was going to go buy a bunch of tickets so he can harass or have PJ Washington harassed in Los Angeles. Do y'all not see how dirty and grimy her and her lawyer is. I know lawyers aren't the most, are not the, lawyers can be very unsavory, but this is very unsavory practices. And I believe these are threats that, come on, you're going to spend $18,000 just to serve him in Los Angeles? Like that to me just tells you what this is all about. These people are greedy and they think they're owed his money. That you are sending this email that's going to be used against you, by the way. This is why I say Brittany's lawyers are not that smart. That email is going to be used against you, heifer. And your lawyer sends it anyway. Both of y'all are bozos. The letter noted that the Mavericks also played on November 29th of 2025 against the Los Angeles Clippers. There are multiple tickets for section F10, row 7, and D directly behind the visiting bench. These tickets are selling for more than $2,000 each. Again, I intend on purchasing all available tickets to ensure my process server is able to effectuate, this looks like, what is there? Personal service on Mr. Washington. These seems like, empty threats. This is woefully disgusting on a lot of levels, that this lawyer is threatening to buy tickets to each of those games so he can serve PJ Washington, which ultimately I don't believe happened. But this is the how far she's willing to go to get his money. And this is a heifer who claimed that she was taking care of her child. Well, it takes two parents, right? Obviously, he's helping to take care of the child. But see, she's bitter because he moved on to another woman and she has no chance of getting back with him. Because not only did he move on to another woman, she had 2 other children by him. So he's a father, yes, of your child, but he also has other children. This heifer's insane. Her and her lawyer. Goofy. Straight up goofy. She was goofy for dating a young 20-year-old, 21-year-old NBA rookie. That's when people should have took note that this heifer's crazy. And you know what I'm saying? This is sick. Renner's lawyer noted that he remained hopeful that he would not have to resort to these measures to avoid the unnecessary, inevitable press coverage Mr. Washington will receive as a result. In the filing, Renner's legal team argued that since Washington played a number of games in California during the NBA season, he did indeed have ties to California. Just so that's just like saying, if I vacation in Las Vegas, that means that I have ties to Las Vegas, and my baby mama can take me to court in Las Vegas because I have ties there. Because I went there once or twice during the year. Let's say I go to Houston. I a couple of times during the year I went to Houston. So I got ties to Houston now. Renner's attorney continued. In good faith to avoid any negative press by Mr. Washington and to prevent attorney's fees from ballooning, we respectfully request that Mr. Washington agree the case being moved to California. Y'all see these terroristic tactics that is being used here? Do y'all see how sick this is? And I'm supposed to believe that Brittany Renner is the victim here? Victim of what? Please review the same with Mr. Washington and provide an executed version to my office by no later than November 18th of 2025. If we do not receive a signed stipulation in order by November 18th, I will have no choice but to purchase the visitor bench tickets for the November 28th game against the Lakers and the November 29th game against the Clippers. The letter ended. As Us First reported in her California case, Renner demanded an increase from $5,500 a month, or demanded an increase to the $55 per month that Washington paid in child support for their 4-year-old son, Paul III. She believed the amount should be $35,000 due to her expenses being higher after moving from California to Los Angeles. Whose fault is that? You chose to move. He didn't tell you to move. You weren't forced to move. You moved because this was strategic. Again, Anthony Edwards' baby mama did the same thing. She moved, I believe, she moved from Georgia to California, I believe, in order to get more child support. This heifer's asking for $35,000 for one child. $35,000 for one child. So that child is basically, you're gonna use that child to pay your bills, to pay your side dude bills, because y'all know these heifers be having broke men around them constantly. They're paying those dudes' bills. Don't get it twisted. That's what's going on out here. This heifer wants to use child support to pay her bills so she can go on vacations, right? So she can lease expensive cars. This is what this heifer wants. And also give her mama money. She also noted that she did not have a steady income after leaving Basketball Wives. Again, whose fault is that? You are basically a public figure. Brittany Renner is a public figure. If you haven't found employment, that's on you. That's on you. So I am struggling to make ends meet, and I cannot provide Paul the third a life anywhere similar to that of his father, Renner said. To put it in perspective how ridiculous current orders are, current child support payments will comprise 0.30% of Washington's monthly income. That is less than 0.5% of what Washington earns. Let me tell y'all something. If she's able to get an increase, she's going to ask for more. Let me say that again to y'all. If she's allowed to get an increase this time, she's going to go back for more money. This ain't the end. Let's say PJ Washington gets another contract. She's going to go back to court to get an increase. These heifers never have enough. They never have enough. $35,000 ain't going to be enough either. Trust me. She's going to want more than that. These heifers are, listen, you better go get an OnlyFans. You better hop on OnlyFans. It's talking about you ain't got no income. You better do what you know and hop on OnlyFans instead of out here with your hand out talking about I need money. Or you better go get a job. You better get the DoorDash and Uber and Ubering instead of out here begging the judge to have your ex take care of your lifestyle. In response, Washington claimed he had already settled the issue of child support in their previous court battle filed in North Carolina. He claimed Renner agreed to the $5,500 was sufficient for their child's needs. Per the deal, the exes agreed to share joint custody, right? Washington told the court that less than 1 year after reaching the deal over support, Renner was in Los Angeles courtroom demanding a massive increase because it's never enough. In her response, Washington claimed that Paul III was conceived in North Carolina, not California. Did not engage in intercourse in California that might have caused Brittany pregnancy with Paul III. He alleged that Paul was conceived in North Carolina during the entire period of my relationship with Brittany. We visited California together only once for a couple of days. This whole situation should be dismissed. This heifer is out here broke and begging and she claims to be broke. Not me saying it, she says it. So let me know what you think in the comment section. Let me know your thoughts. Like this video and share. Follow me on all my social media platforms, and I will see y'all on the next one.